How would you define chronic illness?
Ailments that don't have cures, and treatments vary. Some work for people, some don't.
So it's pretty much just figuring it out as you go?
For me, it has been.
What's that like?
Difficult, complicated, frustrating. It's been trial and error with absolutely everything, and everything has failed. It's weird because I have this visualization of what I strive my future to look like, what I want it to look like. But then I get brought down back from my little daydream bubble, and I'm like, if I actually put my current circumstances with me in that future, I don't see any of it possible.
What could somebody do to cheer you up?
Spend time with me. I absolutely love just sitting, even if we're not doing anything, with you being here and having this conversation with me. This refuels me, like it recharges me, because I don't get this often. Even that simple act is, to me, monumental. That is huge for me.
Welcome to SBSK. We believe that everybody has a story that's worthy of being heard. When we listen to one another, the world becomes a closer place, and we all benefit together. So without hesitation, let's meet today's friend.
What are all your diagnoses?
I don't know if we have enough time for that, but I am, if we're doing first physical, I am a cancer patient. I'm currently in remission. I suffer from gastroparesis. I have fibromyalgia. I have Dysmotility, IBD, and other chronic illnesses. And then I also suffer from ADHD, PTSD, OCD, anxiety, panic disorder, and depression.
How would you define gastroparesis to somebody who's never heard of it?
Well, I've had to do that recently because they had no clue, people on my outer family. What I told them was, it is a chronic illness. It doesn't have a cure. It's incredibly painful and debilitating. And basically, to put it up in simple words, your stomach does not work. It just is kind of like a dead organ, and you have to find a different way of eating and working through your digestive system.
How did they respond when you told them that?
What? Like they're like, they didn't even know it was a thing. I was diagnosed with gastroparesis when I was 21, and they did an initial upper endoscopy, which is when they put you to kind of sleep, and they put a little camera down your throat and down your GI system, your esophagus, to look at everything to see if anything's wrong. So I had that done, and even having that done, requesting it, the doctors were like, I think you're fine, you don't need this. And it just comes back to the snowball of just questioning your own reality. Like, does it even exist? Like, is it real? Is it me? Like, am I just making this up? Am I being that dramatic? I had to have other doctors intervene with that doctor for him to proceed with the test. So once I had it done, you're supposed to not ingest anything like 12 hours prior to the procedure. And after I had it done, when I woke up in the recovery room, the doctor came in and he was like, I told you not to eat the night, like the day before or whatever. And I was like, I haven't eaten in like 2 days. Like I made sure. And he just looked at me and he's like, oh, I'll be right back. And then he came back with the actual pictures of the procedure, and my stomach was full of food, to put it pretty. Not new food. Having gastroparesis, there's different severities to the illness. I had the worst one, which means your stomach is completely just dead. It's a dead organ. It doesn't work. It doesn't digest food. It doesn't contract food. It doesn't break food down. So you just have this accumulation of food that rots in your belly. Doesn't sound pretty. And that's basically what I had. And they're like, well, it's not working. We might as well ditch it, you know, and take it out. So they took out the stomach and they left some tissue in to makeshift a new stomach. So what I have left is very small, maybe the size of a quarter, like a small coin. And what they did was they readjusted my intestines and connected it to that little part of the stomach and to my esophagus. It messes with your brain so much, like it shouldn't, because it's physical. I can see I have a tube, I can see I have an IV, I could see all my scans, like when they do CT scans, x-rays, I see it and it's written in the reports. And I'm like, clearly I'm not making this up. Clearly there's stuff there. But somehow, somewhere, something gets into my brain that is like, but is it? And I just can't get rid of that.
Why did you have your stomach removed?
Because my doctors advised me to, and I, being a patient and understanding the concept of doctors that they're supposed to help you and do what's best for you, I believe that they were trying to do the best for me, but it just didn't work out in my case. Since I've had my stomach removed, all my symptoms have reached a new level of severity, a new level I wasn't near before. It's gotten a lot worse. Most days I just stay in bed because of the energy I don't have.
What's it like to be on camera and share your story?
It's a little bit surreal. I never thought I'd be on this side of the screen. I've always, like I mentioned, I've watched your videos for years, and even going through everything I've gone through, I've never even questioned or even thought about reaching out to see for an interview. Like, I don't see my story. It's definitely unique, my story. Not a lot of people can say they have what I have at the same time.
You said you're in bed 23 hours a day.
Typically.
It impacts every facet of your life. Why can't you accept that you deserve to advocate, you deserve attention, you deserve to have your story heard, and you deserve any accommodation that can be possibly given to you?
I don't know, I'm just not as nice to myself as I should be. And I need to put myself in check more. I sometimes feel like a phony, and for no good real reason. It's just how my brain works. And I'm sure it has to do with the chemical imbalances of having so many illnesses and mental illnesses. But it just feels like, okay, how is it possible that I am suffering from a whole list of ailments? Like, am I being like a hypochondriac? Am I being dramatic? Am I actually like, really, are you really this sick? Are you just not just being dramatic? You're just toughen up. Like, it can't be that bad. No one has it that bad. And then that's when I take a step back and I'm like, okay, stop. This is very toxic thinking. Be nice to yourself. I'm always telling people, be nice to yourself. And I don't practice what I preach. I can only describe it as the most toxic relationship you can have, because both every physical ailment and every like mental illness I have like team up together, and they're against me and my body, my mind. So it's like a tag team between physical and mental, and you're just like there for the ride. You can't change course. You can't get off this roller coaster. Sometimes they slow down to give you a break, but they'll speed back up and drop you off that cliff. Even the simplest person could be like, maybe like it's not that bad, just like maybe you're just a little off. And then you just question your reality. You question everything. Like, am I am. I probably am. Like, no one lives like this. Like, it's a whole thing. And it's a whole...
And that's pretty much the definition of imposter syndrome.
I didn't know the definition, but as soon as I heard what it feels like and how you question everything, I'm like, that Yeah, me.
What caused your gastroparesis?
No one knows. I've been asked. No one really knows what caused it, but upon joining a few gastroparesis support groups across social media and doing a substantial amount of research on Google, I found out that there are different reasons you could develop gastroparesis, but what I kind of clicked it with was my cancer. So I had thyroid cancer, and it's linked to hypothyroidism and thyroid cancer. So that could be it. I opted to remove my entire thyroid along with 24 positive cancer lymph nodes on my left side.
What was that like?
Scary. To barely be 19 and have someone come tell you you have cancer is just, it doesn't feel real. I'm 24 now, and I'm well aware I still have not processed when they told me that when I was barely 19.
What's the best way somebody can validate your experiences and let you know that you're worthy of accommodations, of telling your story, and that your experiences are true?
By literally telling me that, because with my ADHD at least, I literally need a map. I need you to draw me a map. Even though you're saying it's right here, you have to guide me to it's right here. I'm a visual learner. If you just tell me and repeat it and show me, and that my issues are valid and I am being heard, and you tell me, that's all I need. I don't need anything else.
You are a cancer survivor who had your stomach removed later. You are hooked up to machines that feed you. You are physically disabled. You're worthy of being an advocate. You're worthy of sharing your story, of any accommodation. And you just deserve to know that your experiences are real. You're not faking anything.
I'm not. And it's sometimes hard to tell that to myself, which is why it makes me a little emotional to hear it, because I don't hear it often.
What do you hear often?
I just being questioned a lot.
By society?
Yes, and doctors, which is what crushes me the most. Like I said, they're the ones that are really they're your lifeline, and having them be like, you're fine, there's nothing wrong, go home, is just absolutely crushing. My issue is more with allowing others to get into my brain and then make me second guess myself. Because like I said, I've had people come up to me when I've parked in a disabled parking lot with my handicap sign, and they're immediately like, you're not disabled, why are you here, go away. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't look what you're envisioning when you think about a disabled person. I may not sound like what you think a disabled person sounds like, but I'm parking here for a reason, and just I have a permit. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything wrong. It's like an invisible illness, like fibromyalgia, that I also have.
What's that?
A chronic pain illness, which is you just feel constant pain throughout your body.
You're also diagnosed with endometriosis?
Yes.
What is that?
Endometriosis is a condition a lot of women suffer from, and a lot of, okay, please don't jump. Endometriosis is a chronic illness a lot of women suffer from. It takes place, so when you have your period, you bleed within, from my understanding, I could be naming things wrong, you bleed from your uterus out. So women who suffer from endometriosis don't just bleed from their uterus, they bleed everywhere in their reproductive system, outside the uterus, outside the ovaries. and it becomes scar tissue. It almost looks like a spider web growing into your other organs, and it's incredibly painful, and it's very, very severe. I've had this since I was 13 when I first started my period, and I've had to miss school for an entire week because I became paralyzed because my nerves get pinched, my sciatic nerves, and I can't bend my knees. And there's no cure. You just treat it through birth control, and if you don't treat it soon enough, you cannot have children in the future.
Can you explain to me the medical equipment you have here?
Yes, medical equipment. This is my IV machine, my portable IV machine. Well, it has wheels. This is how I eat. This is how I stay nourished. Due to my gastroparesis, I have trouble orally ingesting food. So this little contraption here makes it easier for me to stay nourished.
When you see yourself on that screen right there, what do you think?
I don't know. Sit up straight, and I don't know, my mind goes blank now that I'm looking at myself.
Is it the mental health disorders that kind of make you analyze yourself and freeze?
For sure, overthinking and stuff like that. For me, it just feels like my life has been put on like a pause. I see everything going on around in the news and in society, and people that I'm friends with graduating, getting married, having kids, and having wonderful things happen to them. And then I look to me, and not to compare, because everybody's situation is absolutely different and unique, and everybody's journey is different and unique. But I'm human, so sometimes I do become my harshest critic, and I look at myself and I'm like, I'm 24 years old. I don't have a job because I can't work. I'm in bed at least 23 out of the 24 hours during the day. I can barely walk to my own bathroom and shower on my own. Like, I have a shower chair. I need help from my mom to do what most even kids could do independently, like make their own food, make their bed, fold their laundry. So it just feels like my life has kind of been robbed from me.
If you were to make a new friend, what would be the first thing you wanted to do with them?
Well, I would introduce myself, and I'm really bad at making new friends. I really don't know how to approach people in person. It's kind of intimidating for me because I'm socially awkward. So I feel in my head it's okay to go up to them and be like, "Hi, I'm Itza." Like, when I was able to go on campus and I found people, I'm like, oh, we have similar interests. I'm like visualizing in my head, what if you go say, "Hi, I'm Itza, I want to be my friend." And then I'm like, if someone just literally walked up to you and just said, "You want to be my friend," I don't think a lot of people will respond well to that.
I would think that's the best thing ever.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I would introduce myself and just maybe start a conversation about an interest I know we might have, or maybe ask a simple question like, "How are you today?" and go from there.
What is it like to live with so many chronic illnesses and not have answers?
Like, you want to rip your hair out. It's physically exhausting, but it's mentally torturous is how I can best explain it. There's no day that goes by that you really get a break. Like, today's like, okay, do I want to deal with sharp stabbing pains, or do I want to deal with a panic attack? Like, I have to weigh out my options because I can't take certain medications together because they're not good. So I usually opt to take the pain soothing medication, and then everything else is out the window. So My pain is controlled, but I'm having panic attacks. I'm violently ill, vomiting. I'm drowsy. I'm sleepy. I have vertigo. I can't focus or retain information. I'm just not functioning how a 20-year-old, well, 24-year-old should be functioning. And it's just exhausting, absolutely.
Do doctors have answers for you? You look like you're really thinking about a tactful way to answer this.
That is true. So most doctors don't have an answer for me anymore at this point. In fact, at least all the doctors in my area have decided to no longer see me because they have verbally told me and expressed that they don't feel comfortable handling my health anymore. It's beyond their expertise, their exact words. They don't know what to do, or they're just like, I'm out of options. I have no clue how to help you. I psych myself out of going in public because I'm so terrified of having a flare-up in public that I just don't do it.
What do your flare-ups look like?
So my flare-ups usually take place in my bedroom. It starts by a very tingly feeling in my midsection area, and that immediately goes from 0 to 100 stabbing pain. I just end up always on the floor, crouched in the fetal position. My mom has to run in and help me, and nothing takes it away if it's not morphine. And I know that's a very iffy medication, but I've absolutely tried everything with doctors, and it's the only thing that takes it away. I end up on the floor. It's stabbing pain. It doesn't go away. It could last anywhere up to a few hours until it starts settling, and it's just constant pulsing, contracting, heavy breathing, heart rate goes up, sweating, bullets, intense body spasms and tensing up. And then once it's over, I just end up so depleted and exhausted because of how much my body went through.
Is it one particular diagnosis that's causing these flare-ups, or is it a combination of everything?
So that's $1 million question. Nobody knows. No doctor has been able to figure out why it's happening. I'm gonna assume it's a combination of everything.
What would you like to say to anybody else out there who's in a similar circumstance?
Oh wow. Oh no, don't get emotional. I would like to say, is it okay if I get face?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
You can do anything you want.
If there's anybody out there that has something similar, not even exactly what I have, and you're kind of stuck, or maybe you're not and it's going fairly well, I'm very glad if it is, and I'm happy you're safe and semi-healthy, I guess. But if your situation is similar to mine and you happen to stumble across this video, first of all, thank you for staying till the end and watching this. It's beyond me that you would take time out of your day to like sacrifice that time to watch and hear what I'm saying. Thank you. And you really are not alone. And regardless of what your brain tells you and bullies you into, you are seriously not alone. And if there's like anybody out there that really needs even a quick checkup or a hi, you can absolutely message me on Instagram or anywhere. And
Links below.
yeah, I guess links below. You could reach out and we can have a conversation about it, because I know what it feels like to not have that support, and I know how dark and isolating it can be, and nobody should feel that way.
Thanks for watching SBSK. Click subscribe here to be part of our community. Then hit the notification bell below so you never miss a story. You can even meet another friend here. See you next time.